A lot of Sonic games have mixed reception. Even games like the Adventure series and Sonic Colors will always be met with a crowd of people who all disagree with each other. However, there are a few Sonic games that are mutually agreed by most Sonic fans to be at least decent. One of those games is Sonic Generations. This game has been received very well by critics and fans while also being considered one of the only times Sonic has ever worked properly in 3D. Today, I wanted to take a closer look at Sonic Generations and see everything that the game did right. I will also be looking at some of the big issues that this game deals with that many people look over. Remember that this is my opinion and I recommend that you go into this video with an open mind. Maybe I might shine a light on some flaws that you haven't noticed before. Anyways, with that all being said, let's begin with the story. So the story of Sonic Generations is kinda interesting. It's not like the usual Sonic stories that we always get. It's a bit different. Let's talk about it. Our story begins with classic Sonic running through Green Hill Zone, minding his own business, doing normal Sonic things. But then a monster shows up and proceeds to look intimidating in front of classic Sonic. Then it cuts to Sonic's birthday. He turned Hedgehog years old today. He begins munching on a chili dog when suddenly a giant monster shows up who looks very unhappy, let's just say that. He steals all of Sonic's friends and locks them away in random parts of Sonic's past adventures. Sonic, seeing this, decides to try and fight back, but is unfortunately knocked out. Sonic later wakes up in this empty white space with a few zones in front of him. So naturally, he goes for the first zone, Green Hill Zone. After playing through a nice blast from the past, Sonic saves Tails. After a few charming cutscenes, Sonic and Tails later meet up with classic Sonic and classic Tails. This is when it's revealed that the monster we saw before is called the Time Eater. And the Time Eater is tearing out time and space, so it's up to both of the Sonics to repair the past by speeding through old events. And the rest of the story can pretty much be told from that. Sonic and classic Sonic run through stages to repair the past while they collect Chaos Emeralds for the battle with the Time Eater. Finally, the story ends with it being revealed that Eggman and classic Robotnik have been controlling the Time Eater the whole time. So classic Sonic and modern Sonic go super and put an end to the Time Eater. There you go. That was Sonic Generations. I have a lot of thoughts that go through with this story, so just bear with me. First off, it's not terribly cringy and unimpactful, but it's also not a great storytelling experience like Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Unleashed. This game's story just kind of exists. But hey, I would rather have a simple and plain story over a cringy and bad one. But on a real note, I really enjoyed the beginning of this game's story because it seemed like a lot was going on. I loved Roger Craig Smith's voice.
You're right, Tails. This place is giving me deja vu all over again.
I love the Sonic and Tails duo. I even liked how they didn't go too complex with the time travel story. Because as we all know, time travel stories f***ing suck. It's not necessarily a bad story, it's just a very empty story. So if you're going into this game expecting the same level of hard-hitting storytelling as Shadow dying in Sonic Adventure 2, I'm sorry, but you will not find that. This is probably why I failed to have a deep connection with this game. The identity and the atmosphere doesn't exist because they didn't care enough to develop it. This game's identity is built off of other games. When I go to City Escape, I'm thinking about what a great game Sonic Adventure 2 was. So it's hard for Sonic Generations to hit home with me when I just think of other games when I'm playing it. I understand that the point of this game was to be an anniversary game where Sonic visits his past. So as I can imagine, it can be hard to make a good atmosphere. But this game is what it is. If I feel a connection with these games' stories and atmospheres more than Sonic Generations, I'm going to like those games more. But not all of the unique charm in Sonic Generations is gone. I just wish they developed the story a bit more. And before anyone dogs on me for complaining about the story, I certainly don't think this game's story is nearly as bad as Forces or Lost World. I also understand that a story doesn't make a game good, but we shouldn't ignore the story because it could make a good game even better. So to sum it all up, Sonic Generations' story is very laid back. Don't expect anything too crazy story-wise from this game, just focus on the gameplay. With that being said, let's jump into modern Sonic. Modern Sonic is where this game really shines its colors. In Sonic Generations, the boosting gameplay from Sonic Colors and Sonic Unleashed makes its return once again, except there's a few differences. In the modern Sonic gameplay, your objective is to boost through the stages as fast as possible. On top of going fast, there are other obstacles in your path, such as needing to slide, platform, or kill enemies. If it wasn't obvious enough, this gameplay is outstanding. Once you understand the layout of a level, you can blast through these stages and feel like a king. The boosting gameplay has always been a satisfying treat for players to enjoy. However, there are a few differences that we should talk about. First off, we need to talk about level design. Sonic Unleashed's level design was mostly based around reacting to oncoming obstacles while going very fast. There's a few platforming segments, but not too many. Then Sonic Colors comes around and they slap down hard with platforming in that game. There's still some things that you have to react to in Sonic Colors, but the game is mostly built around how you use Sonic's moveset to platform better and more efficiently. But when it comes to Sonic Generations, they took a whole different direction. It's like the game combined the two different level design styles. Sonic Generations is still very fast, not as fast as Sonic Unleashed, but let's be real, that's a very high bar to surpass. This game also has a lot of moments where you have to constantly react to things like how you do in Sonic Unleashed. Sometimes you need to slide or maybe boost mid-air to reach a faster path. Sonic Generations does this part very well. When playing Sonic Generations and Sonic Unleashed back to back, you can clearly tell that Sonic Generations has more platforming segments. This causes things like the 2D sections in Sonic Generations to last a lot longer than Sonic Unleashes. The way the 2D sections are handled in Sonic Unleashed is that you react to obstacles really fast and you pretty much boost the rest of the way. In Sonic Generations, there's a lot more platforming, similar to Sonic Colors. So am I going to dog on Sonic Generations for having more 2D than Sonic Unleashed? Hell no. You think I honestly care if a game has 2D sections? I'm sorry, but I never saw the 2D sections as an issue with the boosting games. Honestly, I think the 2D sections can be really fun in games like Sonic Colors. In my opinion, the 2D sections belong in boosting games. It makes the levels more dynamic and it changes things up before everything gets stale. But before I can give my opinion on Sonic Generations level design, there is still one more thing. On top of taking elements from Sonic Colors and Sonic Unleashed, they added a little bit of their own. There are so many different routes in these levels. Seaside Hill is probably the most expansive boosting level ever made. Just the other day on Twitter, I saw Ender Electric's post this clip and I'm still comprehending that this actually exists. The level design in this game rivals Sonic Adventure 1 standards, and it still amazes me. But do I think this is the best interpretation of the boost? No, this is not the best interpretation of the boost. But it's still good! This is some great level design for a boosting game. I still prefer Sonic Unleashed because it feels a lot more intense, but this is still awesome. But there is one big downfall to Sonic Generations levels, and it's that it doesn't have enough consequences. What do I mean by that? Well, allow me to explain. These levels have consequences when it comes to dying because yes, you will die during the levels. The main cause for death is missing a jump or doing something stupid. But I have a question for you. What do you do when you die in the boosting gameplay? Go on, I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. You restart. Be honest, you restart because you just messed up the perfect run that you were going for. And that's good. Keep restarting. That's what the boosting gameplay is supposed to do. The whole gameplay is built around replaying the levels and getting better at the game. That's a great philosophy. So from hearing that, you can probably imagine why the ranking system pisses me off. In this game, you will be rewarded in S rank for just holding forward. I'm deadass. I will play this game with my toes and get an S rank, which is saying something because I suck at video games. Guys, when I was recording footage for this video, I got an S rank in Plant Wisp when I completed the level in 5 minutes. Under no excuse should I be rewarded a rank that took that long to complete the level. I am garbage at the game. I deserve a C or a B rank. What is this ranking? Why should I care about all of these extra paths and cool skips if there is no incentive unless I'm a speedrunner? This really sucks because they could have easily made a ranking system that worked so well. And I know what some of you may say. It's that a ranking system in a Sonic game should prioritize time. Sure then, let's go with that philosophy. Well, first of all, clearly Sonic Generations does not care about that if I'm an S tier player for taking 5 minutes to complete a level. But if they just doubled down on the time, we could have had a really good ranking system. I want something similar to the relics in Crash Bandicoot, where you have to complete the levels very fast to get the relic, which in this case would be an S rank. Maybe not to the extreme of Crash Bandicoot because I don't want people throwing their controllers, but harder than what it is now. If they did that, I would care a lot more about extra paths and skips that I can do within a level. I would really have to learn the whole layout of a stage and find the best pathways to get an S rank, and that sounds like the perfect reality, because you should only be given S ranks if you have fully mastered the stage. So that's where I stand. That's why I find a game like Sonic Unleashed to be a lot more enjoyable. I actually care about the actions I make within the levels of Sonic Unleashed because they carry weight. If I get hit twice and lose my rings in Sonic Unleashed, I'm probably not getting S rank. And that's good! If I fully mastered the stage, I shouldn't be getting hit in the first place. That is what an S rank should do. But does this make Sonic Generations boring? Not fully. I can still have a lot of fun in these levels. I just don't feel nearly as fulfilled as I do when I complete a stage in other Sonic games. And quite honestly, I think that how casual this game is could be beneficial to the franchise. Sure, it's not my ideal vision of a game, but it's a nice starting point. This game is perfect for bringing in new players. Whenever I'm trying to get people into Sonic, I always recommend that they play Sonic Generations first. While I think the classics Adventure 1, 2, and Unleash are the best Sonic games, I'm not going to recommend those games first because those games have a very high skill ceiling. If people get comfortable with Sonic Generations, they might pick up games like Sonic Unleashed and actually give it a try. I consider this game a Sonic boosting game with training wheels. It also somewhat fixes one of the main issues with critics. Some people will play games like Sonic Adventure 2 and not understand how Sonic's gameplay is built around replayability and sharpening your skill. Instead of learning Sonic's moveset and trying to play better, they usually just blame the game, and that's very unfortunate. Sonic is not a normal platformer. You can't play Banjo-Kazooie or Mario Odyssey and then jump into Sonic and be okay. It won't happen because Sonic is unique, and that's why he's still alive. There is a lot to learn with how Sonic moves and interacts with level design, which is why I commend games like Sonic Generations. The game isn't way too easy, but it's also not too hard. It allows new players to dip their feet in the water before doing a cannonball. So if you never played a Sonic game before, play this game first. I promise you, you will not regret it. Okay, well that was a lot. Now it's time to move on to Classic Sonic. Oh man, Classic Sonic. This part of the game sucks! Alright, relax, I'm just joking. You think I'm serious? You think I'm honestly going to dislike this? What do you take me for? I love this part of the game, so get ready for a few hot takes. But first, let's start with the gameplay. Classic Sonic takes the gameplay from the classics and modernizes it. It's not a perfect recreation of the classics and the momentum could use a little bit of work, but it's faithful enough. A lot more faithful than Sonic Forces. You have very precise platforming and the spin dash is overpowered. You don't even have to stop and look down. You just take your controller, hold X or square if you suck, then you let go as he goes flying through the level. Now I would criticize this, but I can't. I'm sorry, but the spin dash is just so fun. I don't care that it's overpowered. I'm having fun with it, and that's all that matters. I never thought that this would be the way to innovate classic Sonic gameplay, but it surprisingly works very well. Something else to know is that the backgrounds of these levels are beautiful with so much going on, which shows how much love Sonic Team put into this because the eventful backgrounds was one of the things that made classic Sonic levels so unique. You know, every time I play this game, I love the classic Sonic stages more and more. I wouldn't say it's better than the modern Sonic stages, but it's still really fun. I would even say it's more fun than Sonic 1 and Sonic CD. Oh yeah, I went there. Ain't nobody gonna stop me. I'm just saying what I feel, and what I feel is bliss when I play classic Sonic. I mean, the gameplay does suffer from the same ranking system issue, but you guys already know my stance on that. There are some extra additions like the shield power-ups making a return, only in the side missions, but it's still nice to see. And they control very well, which is why these side missions are great. So if you're looking to pick up this game, both gameplay styles are going to be good. Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic are both going to blow you away. With that all covered, let's move on to the soundtrack. Sonic Generations soundtrack is completely made up of remakes of old Sonic songs. This music is great, but you'll only see a few tracks in my playlist. However, the game has a whole new feature that allows you to unlock the soundtracks of previous Sonic games. If you complete the side missions, you will be rewarded with older tracks. You can use these tracks to replace some of the stage music if you really wanted to. Who knows, maybe you want to replace Rooftop Run with Endless Possibilities. Nothing will get in your way of having a great song to listen to when you play these levels. I really appreciate this part of the game, because what better way to motivate you to 100% a Sonic game than the soundtrack? They know we love their music, it's absolutely genius! With that being said, the soundtrack was awesome. Here are a few of my favorites. Sonic Generations has a ton of extra content. The first bit of extra content is side missions. These are completely optional, but you are required to do at least one side mission for every stage. I really like these side missions because they get really creative on what you can do with Sonic's friends. I mean, hey, if I get a free chance of playing around Knuckles again, I'll take it. There are also some random challenges where the developers get really drunk and start slapping a lot of stuff everywhere. These levels are fun and change up the way you play the game, so I guess I'll commend these stages. After all, I'm having a lot of fun playing these stages, so I can't criticize them no matter how stupid they are. But then there are pointless side missions like racing a gray version of yourself. Like, this is a good idea on paper, but in execution it does absolutely nothing. I'm just playing the level normally. There hasn't been a single time where the CPU has beat me. Hell, they haven't even come close. They are garbage. Another piece of optional content is the harder difficulty of the bosses. I love the bosses in this game, except for the last one, but trust me, we'll get to that. I mean, there are so many great options here, and with the harder difficulty, it makes them a lot more fun, especially the shadow boss. It's so good. I would love for that boss to be online so me and my friends could battle each other, but unfortunately it's not online. But hey, it's your move, Sega. I could get real competitive in this. Just saying, like, this is one of the funnest things you've ever done with the boosting formula. I would love to compete with this. Next, we have collectibles, which you can obtain by collecting red rings. Every time you collect a red ring, you get a new art piece that you can view in the gallery. You can find red rings in random routes within a level. This art is really cool to look at, and collecting it is just as fun. Because, I mean, the red rings really push you into learning the level that you're playing, and I really appreciate that. Okay, but I didn't know where to group this final boss, so I'm just gonna group it here. The final boss. This thing is complete garbage. We don't get a cool song that makes us feel powerful, and we don't get an apology for messing up a supersonic boss fight. How do you mess up a supersonic boss fight? Like, bro, this is the part of the game where you get really ambitious with the gameplay mechanics, and you do this? Like, every time I play this boss fight, I have no idea what I'm doing. I guess you're supposed to make modern Sonic boost into his core, but then what are you supposed to do with classic Sonic? Whenever I switch to him, I'm just going forward. Am I supposed to attack him with classic Sonic? Am I supposed to collect rings? What am I doing with classic Sonic? I have replayed this game so many times, and every time, I just go on autopilot when I'm fighting the final boss. This was a terrible final boss, and it had a ton of wasted potential. Like, the Time Eater could have been a really cool fight, but they messed up. Real shame, I guess. Anyways, let's move on to the conclusion of the video. Sonic the Hedgehog has been a long-running franchise for 30 years now. This game came out on the 20th anniversary, and that is insane to think about. 10 years ago was when we got Sonic Generations, and yet it still plays like a new game. Which is very sad because recent Sonic games haven't been the best. Yes, there are a lot of things I don't like about Sonic Generations, but the game is still great. I would much rather have a game that is almost a masterpiece than a game that struggles to stand on its own two legs. What we have learned here today is to not take things for granted. Enjoy Sonic's history and love Sonic Generations. In retrospect, Sonic Generations may lack identity because of its empty and unfulfilled story, but it more than makes up for it through its excellent and near perfect gameplay. Yes, the game may not push you to play better as much as other games, but it's still a beautiful work of art that everyone should play. This was Sonic Generations. My channel members are Darko Rock Tanksy, Scape, Virtuous Azon, Sonic Pip, Sonic the Hedgehog, Chaos Control VA, Thomas One Rai, Azure Sonic, Rubik Dash, JaneXV, The Loganator, Saint, Crash D00D, Shadow Poser, The Squeaker Nerd, Super Shax, Boom, Snick, Sonic Extreme, Super Saiyan Sonic, Just Kidding, and Sonic Fan. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys a lot. Sorry that I'm not more enthusiastic. Thank you guys so much. If you guys want to talk to me, join the Discord server down below or follow my Twitter. You can talk to me on either of those locations. Anyways, I love you guys. Yakuza 0 is awesome. Adios.